so I'm carrying my little Bible of stuff around. We are going to be working on some balance, which I know everybody loves. There's a reason for this. It's because we haven't done it for ages, basically. We haven't done some balance for a while. So things that you might need are strap, belt, tea towel, something that you can loop around your scarf, something that you can loop around if you need to, help with standing balance. Yeah. So whip off and grab that if you need it. And the other thing just to bear in mind is obviously with balance, it's a bit more challenging with some postures. Please listen to your bodies. Yeah, don't go crazy doing stuff that just doesn't feel comfortable. Balance in yoga is all about focus of the mind, because the idea is that if you're standing on one leg, it's impossible to think of much else other than staying upright, basically. So that's kind of why I'm throwing it in there, because I'm sure that the mind is a little frazzled, should we say, perhaps at the moment. I don't know, I'm just making assumptions. So we are, however, going to be starting in Savasana, as always. Okay, so let's lie down. Let's just lie down. Some of you were already there, so it would be rude not to keep you there. So remembering when you're lying down here, you can grab a cushion, you can grab anything to pop it under your head to make it more comfortable for you. But essentially just finding a nice, relaxed space, basically. So relax the feet, take the hands well away from the body, turning the palms up towards the ceiling. Softening through the jawline, taking some nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. And as you take those deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose, I want you just to check in with how your body and your mind are feeling. So any areas of tension, any busy minds, just acknowledge them. I'm trying to just find stillness at this moment in time. Trying to resist the temptation to wiggle the fingers, twitch the toes. We're going to take 3 long breaths. We're going to take in through the nose and sighing out through the mouth. Really getting very to the end of that breath. So 2 more, so in through the nose and out through the mouth. And 1 more time, big long breath in through the nose. Pausing slightly at the top and then out through the mouth. As if you're sighing away the day. Take a deep breath in here, reaching the fingertips up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, bring the hands behind you to the floor and then creep the feet together and give yourselves a nice long stretch. And then when you're ready, just gently soften through the elbows, taking a bend through the knees, soles of the feet connect to the mat, and then just tuck the tailbone underneath and feel that full connection of between the space between the shoulder blades and the lower back. Let's just draw those elbows in line with the shoulders and keep the palms turned up towards the ceiling and get this nice opening of the chest going on. Just notice how the fronts of the shoulders are feeling, maybe into the biceps as well. Try and keep the shoulders away from the ears, so don't have them scooted up. And now what I want you to do is gently sway the knees from side to side, slowly and steadily, not rushing through anything. And then when you're ready, just gently bringing the hands down alongside you on the floor. And then just initially, you're going to bring the knees off the mat. We're not going to hug onto them just for now. You're just going to take a little gentle rock from side to side. So just almost watching that tipping point. So, you know, if you were to go too far, the knees would come over. So you want to almost stop them from getting to that point. Just rolling that lower back into the mat. And now when you're ready, holding onto the shins or interlacing the fingers and bringing the knees in towards the chest. Giving yourself a little hug. Taking a deep breath in here. As you exhale, your nose is going to come up towards the knees. Pressing that lower back in, exhale. And then inhale to lengthen. Exhale, bring the knees through to the nose, or the nose through to the knees, whichever. And then inhale one more time, really feeling the activation through the core. And exhale, nose through to knees. And then gently releasing down. Now from here, I want you to press the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling, toes turning down towards the face. Here you might find your strap coming useful. So if you find it's too much on the lower back or the backs of the legs, just loop around the strap. Otherwise, I want you to really press down that tailbone into the mat. Lower back presses down, toes turn down towards the face. Hands or palms up alongside you. Pressing up, lengthening through the back of the legs, feeling the activation going on in those lower abdominal muscles. Keeping the tension away if you can through the face and the shoulders. When you're ready then, you're going to drop the right leg down and then just keep the left leg up, reaching behind the left leg and holding it up into a nice long hamstring stretch, pressing the toes up towards the ceiling. And then keeping that right leg nice and long now. That left knee is going to come in towards the chest. And then you're going to take the left hand onto the inside edge of that left knee. Right hand comes down to the mat. And then open up that left hip. Keeping those toes nice and active. Right shoulder on the mat. Feeling that nice opening going on in the inside of the thigh. Now bring that left knee in again through center. Right knee comes up, left leg goes long, right leg presses up towards the ceiling into the hamstring stretch. So toes turn down towards the face. And just keeping the softness if you can through the upper body. Good, and then taking a bend now through that right knee, and then taking the right hand onto the inside edge of that right thigh. Left hand comes down alongside you with the palm down, and then opening up that right inside thigh. Trying to keep the left hip fixed to the mat. And then gently bringing that knee in, and then you're going to come up into a tabletop position, straight over into a tabletop position. Just going to take a couple of rounds of cat and cow, so taking a deep breath in, flicking the tailbone up. As you exhale, rounding through the shoulders, sending the gaze towards the thighs. Two more, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, rounding up through the shoulders, gaze towards the thighs. One more time. I think I said that last time. We're going to do one more. And exhale, rounding up, drop the head. Good. Coming back into that neutral spine. You're going to extend the right leg away from you, toes touching the mat. Yeah, so as if you're pressing through that right foot. And then the left arm is going to reach nice and long. Yeah, so you've got the left arm reaching ahead of you. The gaze is just towards the top of the mat. Right foot is either touching, or now lift that right foot up. Make yourself as long as possible. Keeping that balance. Okay, so one of our first balances. Remember, if it's too much, toes can go down, or you can rest the hand down. Breathing for length, and breathe out to draw that belly button in, press through that right hand. When you're ready, just placing that back down again, and then sliding the left leg away. Toes tuck under. Good job. When you're ready, right hand sweeps up in front of you, gazing just slightly towards the top of the mat, and then lifting up that left foot. So trying to keep the hips nice and square. You don't want to kind of be tilted to one side. Toes are turning down towards the mat. Spine is nice and long, pressing up through that left hand. Just trying to keep that balance, keep that focus, keep the breath steady. When you're ready, gently placing the hand down. And then just easing your bum back into child's pose. Resting the head down onto the mat. Taking a few nice deep breaths. When you're ready, coming back up into a tabletop position. And then you're going to tuck the toes. We're going to come into downward facing dog. So hitching the tailbone up nice and high, drawing the chest towards the knees. You're just going to pedal down initially. So I always like to just pedal down through the heels first, just to feel the length through the backs of the heels. And then keep the softness through the knees, keep the head, give a little shake, check you're not hanging on to anything. And then lifting up and through, drawing the chest towards the knees. Keep the breath nice and steady. If it's your first downward dog in a while, it takes a bit of adjusting as the blood rushes to the head, but keep breathing nice and steadily. Good. Take a deep breath in here. Right leg lifts, and then the right foot comes between the hands at the front. We're not going to drop the back knee today, first off, unless you particularly want to. And then we're going to come up into that high crescent pose. So remember, you can keep that knee down if you need to. Keep the lunge going through that front leg. Take a deep breath in. Good, and as you exhale, frame in that front foot. And then what you're going to do is you're going to inhale, sweep the right arm forward, and then round. So your left hand is on the mat, right foot is forward, reaching up into this twisted lunge. Good, so keep breathing. Nice, and then putting the hand down, stepping back into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg. The left foot comes between the hands at the front. You don't need to, you can drop the back knee if you want to, but keeping it up if you can. Soften through the shoulders, lunging through that front knee. Yeah, so don't have it back here. It needs to be really lunged through it. Good, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, you're going to frame that front foot, lifting this time the left hand and taking a twist round to your left side. So one kind of long wing span, if you like, from your right hand to your left. You can always keep it here if you need to. Yeah? When you're ready, bringing that left hand back down alongside, stepping back, downward facing dog. Dropping over into plank pose. Sorry, drop the knees, the chest, the chin. And inhaling into cobra or baby cobra. Okay, so you don't have to come up straight here. You can go onto your elbows. Good. Now draw the chest forward, squeeze the back. Lovely. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Good. Okay, so this time inhale, lift the right leg. Right foot comes between the hands at the front. Coming up into that high lunge position. And then very, very gently, you're going to come round into warrior two. Keeping that lunge through the right leg, ankle, knee, hip, all in alignment. And keeping that arm in a long wingspan. Now I've got my back to you now. So I'm going to turn around so I can see you. And you may wish to do so. Depends where your device is. Okay. Good, okay. Actually, sorry, my fault. I'm here to confuse you. Take a deep breath in, reaching the arm up, and then back into warrior two. Now, from wherever you are, turn the toes in to a wide stance position. Keep those shoulders up and in line, but keep the neck nice and soft. Take the hands to the hips, shoulders up, back and down, send the gaze slightly upwards. Exhale, lead with the chest as if you're tipping the hips forward. So going as far as is comfortable for you, keeping the hands to the hips first, relaxing the head down. And then slowly coming back up, keeping the spine nice and long. Arms come back in line. Now from wherever you are, you're going to come back into that warrior two. So you're going to turn that foot out, and then you're going to come down into your downward facing dog. So we're just opening up the hips here a little bit. So taking a deep breath in now. Inhale, lift the left leg. The left foot comes between the hands at the front. You're going to come up into that high crescent pose. Find that lunge, then come round into your warrior two. So if I was to mirror you now, your left knee will be bent, arms are in line. So this is if I was mirroring you, okay? Shoulders are in line. Keep that lunge coming through the front leg. Yeah, so sometimes when I watch this back, I know I'm saying, yeah, lunge through that front leg. And when I actually watch it back, I think I wasn't actually lunging as much as I thought I was. So really just kind of get into that. You need to really feel that leg firing off, okay? Take a deep breath in, turning that arm up. Coming into reverse warrior, but don't let the knee come back. And then coming back into warrior two. And now just, we're gonna keep the hips nice and open. So hands are coming to the hips, toes are turning in, yeah? Weight is through the toes as if you're about to come forward. Deep breath in, exhale, lead with the chest coming forward as far as is comfortable for you. And at this point, hands can come down, maybe coming almost through, yeah, behind you. So like the hands are walking away from you. When you're ready, just slowly coming back up, softening through the knees if you need to. Bring the arms back up. You're going to windmill back down into downward facing dog. So the way that you were going back before. Good. So now coming over into plank pose. You can drop the knees if you want to, or you're going to lower through chaturanga. Inhale into cobra. Back into downward facing dog. Now soften through the knees. Step, hop, jump, float your way, if you like, to the top of the mat. And then stay here in a forward fold. Hands to elbows, weight through the toes, really lengthen through the backs of the legs. Soften through the knees, sweep the hands all the way up. Hands through heart center. So coming, hopefully you should already be at the top of your mat, okay? So I'm just mirroring you from here. It doesn't matter necessarily. So we're coming into our standing postures now, our standing balances. So we're keeping the hips nice and open. So what I want you to do first is you're going to bring this right knee almost directly in line with your hip. Yeah, and as you do that, I don't want you to come back. Yeah, I want you to almost tuck the tailbone under and bring that hip back. Yeah, this is where your strap might come in handy. Check that your foot, your left foot, yeah, that you're pressing through the big toe, that it's not all going to the outside edge of your foot or the inside. Yes, it's balanced. Good. So now we've got this element of balance going on. I want you to take some deep breaths in, bringing the arm up, strength through the quad and the hip flexor as well. So toes are turning up on that, she says, and her foot goes down. Good. Now, when you're ready, bring the hands down. Yeah, and keeping that foot off, you're going to grab hold of it, or you're going to put it onto your calf for tree pose. Yeah, so try and keep the foot off. Shame I picked the slidey leggings today, so that's my excuse. So hands to heart center, coming into tree pose. Good. When you're ready, take a deep breath in, raise the branches of your tree. Good. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath. When you're ready, bring the hands down, bringing that knee back to the center first. And then you take your left hand to the outside edge of that right knee. And as if you're pushing your body around, you're going to take a little turn over to your right side. So the spine is nice and long, using that knee to almost lever yourself around to the side. Then when you're ready, slowly bringing it forward. Are you ready to put your foot down yet? Release the hands and then put the foot down. Now, pedal through the left foot, okay? Because it will have been gripping on for dear life, I imagine. Good, okay, so now we're going to do it all on the other side. So this is where we need to kind of really acutely pay attention to what the difference are on the sides. Yeah, so if you find it easier, if you find it harder, okay? So now, really grounding through this right side now. Left knee comes up, remember? So you're not leaning back to compensate for it. You're tucking the tailbone under, yeah? In line. Good, so keep breathing, because again with balance, you'll hold your breath. It's the first thing that happens. Any big paddle boarders there will know, or skiers or surfboarders. Yeah, it's better to breathe through a fall. So keep breathing. Good, okay, now from here, holding on to the left ankle or the leg, or just putting it onto the inside edge. Remember you had your straps, I didn't tell you that in the beginning. You can also have your straps, yeah, for all of this, and you just drop it down, come into tree pose, yeah. So finding a fixed point, and just checking in with how it's feeling on both sides of the body. It's easier on one side than on the other. Inhale, bringing the hands up, extending the branches of the tree, or bringing them into prayer pose above the head, softening the shoulders. I think it's a bit windier for me on this side. And then softening the arms, and then just releasing, don't put it down yet. And then taking the right hand to the outside edge of that left leg. I know your right foot is probably screaming right now. Remember, you know, there's no sharks, you can put it down if you need to. And then sweeping that left arm around, turning around to your left side, way. And noticing the difference in your stability and in the way that you're breathing and all those micro movements your feet are making to keep you still. And when you're ready, slowly coming forward, don't put it down yet. Release, and then down you go. Oh. Pedal the legs. So really putting the feet the other way. Counter posing. You all okay? Good, okay, so you should be at the top of your mats now. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale all the way over, forward fold. Inhale to gazing pose, hands to the shins. Exhale, soften through the knees, frame the feet and step, hop, jump, float your way back to plank pose. Drop the knees if you need to, lowering through chaturanga. Inhaling into cobra. And then back into downward facing dog. Let's drop the knees down to the mat and ease the bum back onto the heels. Ready for child's pose. So just closing off the hips now, letting the head rest onto the mat. When you're ready, just slowly coming back up into that tabletop position. So option to just sweep the feet around, or you're going to cross at the ankles. We take a little bit of a challenge. So hands are coming alongside. Knees are going to come up, come through, and then slowly lower down. Good. What we're going to do is we're just going to finish with the balance before we come into Savasana. Good old boat pose. Okay, so we are going to lean back. Okay, first and foremost, feet are initially down onto the mat. Place the palms as up towards the ceiling, because if they're down here, it's going to encourage that rounding of the shoulders. So you want to push the chest through, palms are up. Yeah, that's it, good. Now take a deep breath in here. It might be that just slightly leaning back is enough for you, okay? Or feet come off. Let's point the toes today, okay? Hands are nice and open. Spine is nice and long. Keep that breath nice and steady. Watch that doesn't start to happen. Really keeping that spine nice and long, firing up. You should feel it in the legs as well. Take a deep breath in. If you want to make this a little bit harder again, we're going to take a more balanced element. You can take the 2 fingers around the big toes, and then you're going to look to extend the legs up, and you're literally just taking a little balance on the bum. Basically, so keep breathing, keep that activation going on. Now, when you're ready, just slowly from wherever you are, just releasing down towards the mat. And then finding yourself a nice, comfortable position. Keep the knees bent just for now. What I want you to do is just sway them again from side to side. And loosen off those hips that little bit more. Good, and then when you're ready, just bring the knees in towards the chest, little hug of the knees. And then gently release the feet down towards the floor, sliding them away from you. Palms turning up towards the ceiling again. Soften through the shoulders, soften through the jawline. Taking some nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose again. Just checking in with how everything's feeling again. Hopefully the mind is not racing quite as much. You're never going to stop it from thinking. Try not to hold on to anything in particular. So just let the thoughts come and let them go as well. And when you're ready, you want to take a deep breath in through the nose and sigh it out through the mouth again. Take some nice cleansing breaths. 2 more in, sighing away the rest of the day. 1 more time in, pausing at the top this time. And exhaling out through the mouth. Just soften through the shoulders, don't let them stay by the ears. And when you're ready, take a deep breath in, nice long stretch. And then slowly softening through the elbows, bending at the knees, hugging those knees in towards the chest. And taking a gentle rock up into a seated position. Good. Take a deep breath in, reaching those arms all the way up. Exhaling hands through heart center. and namaste.